Hey everybody, it is Leslie and Lucy, Sai, Erica, Rachel, and Michaela, and we are here to talk to you guys about solid waste. And we're from Period 4. Woo!
Okay, so let's start out with what waste is. The general definition of waste is any unwanted material or substance that results from human activity or process. However, we are particularly covering solid waste. So within that category exists three main types of waste. Those are municipal solid waste, industrial solid waste, and hazardous waste. First, we have municipal solid waste, which is non-liquid waste that comes from homes, institutions, or small businesses. Now, this is the waste that we create in our everyday lives. That means whether you threw away a food wrapper earlier or an old homework assignment, you have contributed to the creation of municipal solid waste. Next, we have industrial solid waste, which is waste from production of consumer goods, agriculture, and petroleum extracting or mining. Basically, waste created from industries. Now, within both municipal and industrial solid waste, paper is the main source of waste. That means paper takes up about 40% of the waste produced by humans. Lastly, we have hazardous waste, which is solid or liquid waste that is dangerous or potentially harmful to our health or the environment. Types of hazardous waste include corrosive, ignitable, reactive, and toxic waste. Now, such waste can come from paints, fertilizers, household cleaners, batteries, and many beauty products. So, a lot of waste exists in our life.
Alright, so the best approach in reducing waste and the preferred source is source reduction. So, source reduction minimizes waste at the source before it enters the waste stream, which is defined as the flow of waste as it moves from its sources towards disposal destinations. But the three main components of waste management are minimizing, recovery, and safe and effective disposal. So to minimize, which is us basically doing our part, we are reusing materials. So this can include reusing plastic bags, not just throwing them away every time that we use them, and also buying reusable cups, plates, utensils, rather than constantly the disposable ones, which obviously fills our landfills. Now, the second step would be recovery. So, recovery includes recycling and composting. So, recycling is basically reprocessing old materials to manufacture new goods, and composting is recovering organic waste. So, an example of this would be any type of peels, like orange, banana peels, that can be used to make a nutrient rich soil or even fuel. And thirdly, we have safe and effective disposal. So, an example of this would be landfills, which can be used as incinerators, or really just how to deal with our solid and hazardous waste.
Hey guys, this is Sai. I'm going to be talking about landfills. So first off, sanitary landfills. About 54% of the weight of our waste in the United States is buried in sanitary landfills. So what is sanitary landfills? Sanitary landfills are newer landfills when all the solid wastes are made into layers and they're compacted and covered daily with a fresh layer of clay or plastic foam. This helps to keep the material dry and it reduces leakage of contaminated water, which is also known as leachate from the landfill. Moving on, Fresh Kills in New York was a place where it was one of the first US cities to run out of landfill space, even though they tried really hard to limit the material's solid waste. So until 2001, most of the city's garbage was buried in Fresh Kills landfill on Staten Island, the world's largest public landfill. However, at the peak of its time in 2001, this landfill goes deeper than the city's Statue of Liberty, that based on how tall it is. However, after filling up the landfill till 2001, it finally became closed, and now it's being transformed to house a lot of recreational activities. Next, I'm going to be talking about the not in my backyard syndrome. Basically, it's a syndrome where people think that where people think in popular areas and in coastal areas, and they think that wind farms are bad because it looks bad and it's really noisy. However, this is a very negative approach as it takes away all the benefits of wind and its energy just because it looks aesthetically unpleasing and may make some noise.
Moving on to incinerators. Incinerators are a huge part of solid waste and its disposal. Most importantly, it reduces weight and volume of solid waste by burning it at extremely high temperatures. Unfortunately, this process releases many sulfur oxides, nitrogen oxides, and other toxins into the atmosphere. To help with this problem, many incinerating factories use scrubbers, which purify the gases and vapors being released by utilizing water or another solution, or baghouses, which are air pollution control devices that remove particulates out of the air or gas released from commercial processes or combustion for electricity generation. Waste to energy is the process of generating energy in the form of electricity or heat from the incineration of the waste. This is a form of energy recovery. Through this process, it is possible for landfill gas to produce gas for energy.
First, there's source reduction, in which we eliminate the waste before it's created. You can do this by buying products that produces less amounts of toxicity to minimize the amount of materials that are harmful from being produced. There's also ways to conserve resources, minimize pollution, and save money, and that's to reduce, reuse, and recycle resources. Doing so would help to minimize the amount of pollution and slow down the depletion of our resources. You could also help to reduce waste by choosing resources that supports a good cause. When you're making good consumer choices, you're encouraging industries to produce products that are environmentally friendly. When purchasing goods, you should look for items that are better quality so that you can have them last longer, and they tend to be better for the environment, as you would not be creating more waste. There's 3 steps to recycling. First, it's collecting and processing, which is when recyclables are collected by using curbside collection, and then it's dropped off at centers and deposited or refunded at programs. The second step is manufacturing. This is when the recyclables are being made into many items that we use in our everyday life. Some examples are newspapers, paper towels, aluminum, plastic, and glass soft drink containers, and many more. One recycled material that we have been making recently is made into asphalt by using recovered glass and asphalt to pave roads or to recover plastic in carpets and park benches. The final step to recycling is purchasing new products that are made from recycled materials, because when you buy new products that have been created from recycled items, you're keeping the recycling loop going. When you're shopping, you should look for products that are easily recyclable and products that have been manufactured with some sort of recycled material.
Nitrogen and carbon-based compostable materials make up about 38% of solid waste. This makes composting a great way to divert waste from landfills, reducing pollution. Not only does compost enrich soil, but has also been shown to help remediate it. You may think that composting is stinky, but composting can help absorb odors and treat semi-volatile and volatile organic compounds. Compost has also been shown to prevent erosion as well as potentially harmful runoff. E-waste, such as batteries, computers, cell phones, and other electronics, contain toxic heavy metals including lead, mercury, and cadmium. When disposed of improperly, e-waste ends up in landfills and can pose a risk to the environment and human health. Heavy metals can leach into the surrounding soil and water, making lakes and streams unfit to sustain life. Because of this, it is important to recycle e-waste. However, only about 25% of all e-waste generated is recycled. E-waste generation has increased exponentially over the years, primarily because people dispose of old electronics faster than they should, in order to replace them with newer technology. Additionally, marketers use planned obsolescence as a way to get more money, in which they manufacture merchandise to become unusable within a given time frame. Phone manufacturers are especially guilty of this because they expect that you will dispose of your phone within a couple years, inevitably adding to the growing e-waste problem.